Good afternoon, students. This is our continuation to the previous class. In our previous class, we started discussing about the data structures in Python. This is a continuation for our first initial standard data structure list. Okay. We seen how to create a list and how to append the elements into the list and how to delete the elements from the list and how to delete the elements. Okay, and how to create the sublist or nested list. Okay, this is the topic of list comprehensions. Okay, here we can represent the list functionality with the help of our required conditions, and we can perform some functionality on the list items without writing more than one line of a code. We can do these all things within a single line of the code. So this is especially used in the iterable objects like a list, tuple, data dictionary, sets, and others. These comprehensions can be performed for any type of data structures. Okay, these comprehensions are written as like this. Say for example, I want to find out a square of the elements in the list. That is, or I want to find out the squares of the elements from 1 to 11. For each value of the range of 1 to 11, I want to find the square, and that is to be added into a list. Okay, for that, generally we'll write these three lines of a code. First, we'll create a squares list. Then we'll repeat the loop from for I is in the range of 1 to 11 and squares dot append of I into I power 2. So it finds the square for the each and every number from the 1 to 10, and though that square value is added to the squares list. Okay. Without writing these three lines of the code, we can complete in the single line of a code using list comprehensions. Okay, for that we can do like this. So squares equal to, that is, squares is the resultant list that we want to create with the squares of the numbers. So squares equal to, for the creation of a list, we'll use a square brackets. So place your required code in the square brackets. And I want to perform the power of the value. So assume that your list value is stored in the x variable. So x power 2. So x is the individual value of your list, your range of the values like 1 to 10. So x is the value in the range of 1 to 10. So x power 2. Okay, this is the part what type of operation or what operation you want to perform on the elements. That is the x power 2, this part. Next, this operation to be performed on the some values. Okay, those values are for x in range of 1 comma 11. That is for this expression, we are taking the values from range of 1 comma 11. That is from 1 to 10. So it repeats a loop from 1 to 10, and every time it takes a one value from the sequence to the x variable, and that x variable value is used within the x power 2. That is, in this expression it uses the x value that is extracted from the sequence, and that power value is added as the element into the list. Okay, so the inner code is repeated for 10 times. Every time it takes a one number, and that is powered with the 2, and then that power value is added as the element in the list. Okay, so without writing three lines of a code, we can complete within the single line. So this is the use of the comprehensions. So comprehensions are used for the iterable objects, and for reducing the number of lines in the code, and to perform the simple operations on the list items or any sequence values. Okay, for that we can use the comprehensions. Okay, this is the end of the list topic. Okay, we'll go for the next data structure in the Python. So the next data structure in the Python is the tuple. So tuple is also similar to the list. Okay, it is also a sequence of values with different data types of elements. Each and every element is separated by the comma. Okay, and here the difference is lists are enclosed within the round braces. Okay, irrespective of square brackets, here we'll use the round brackets to enclose to create the tuples. Okay, so there is another main difference between the tuple and list is tuples are immutable, whereas list are the mutables. So immutable is nothing but it cannot be modified. So once you have created the elements and they created the tuple with some elements, okay, those elements cannot be modified. We can retrieve the elements from the tuple, but we cannot modify the values in the tuple. So this is the one-time creation of the tuple. Okay. So once we create, we cannot modify the elements. Okay, this is generally used where we require the data should not be modified. There we can use the tuples. Okay, for creating of a tuple, we'll use a round braces. So creation is like this. Tuple name equals to within the round braces our required values with the comma separation. So example tup is the tuple name equals to within the round braces we are giving all the values 10, 556, 22.3 Mothi. Okay, these are the four values in the tuple. Okay. So if you want to create a blank tuple, you can give the round brackets, blank round brackets. And if you want to create only one element within the tuple, we can give the one value within the brackets. Okay. So after that, that is after giving a one value, you need to give the one comma. Okay, that is this is the first element in the tuple that we can represent with the element comma. Okay. Tup of 10. Okay, print tuple displays the 10. Okay, if you want to see the type of the tuple, print type of tup, it prints the int because there is only one value. Okay, so here the 10 is considered as the integer value, not as a tuple. Okay, this is not created as a tuple, it is created as a one normal integer value. So if you want to consider this as a tuple, okay, then you need to write it as in the right side. The example is like this: tup equals to 10 comma. Okay, here we are giving a one value 10 comma. That is, there may be the another elements after the 10. Okay, so this is the first element and there can have the more than one element after this. Okay, so that it considers this is a collection of the elements, so that it creates it as a tuple. Okay, print tup, it prints the 10. Okay, if you see the type of a tuple, then it gives the type as the tuple. Okay, so that it is created as a tuple. So whenever you are creating a tuple with the one value, you need to give the comma after the element. Next, accessing the values in tuple. Okay, say for example, we created the tuple with the 5 numbers 50, 60 up to 90, and I want to access the values from this tuple. Okay, this accessing is similar for all the data structures. Okay, here we'll use only square brackets, and within the square brackets we'll give the indexes. Okay, here we'll use a slicing. Okay, for giving of indexes, part of the tuple we can retrieve, or we can retrieve all the elements from the tuple, or we can retrieve the elements from the last to first, or we can retrieve the particular element from the tuple. Okay, here are some of examples of retrieving the tuple values. Tuple of 0, it retrieves the first value of the tuple. Tuple of 1 to 4, 1 colon 4, it retrieves the elements from the 1 index to 3 index, that is second, third, fourth elements, 60, 70, 80. Okay, 60 index is 1, 70 index is 2, 80 index is 3. So it gives us 60, 70 and 80. Next, tup of minus 1, it retrieves the last element of the tuple, that is last but 1. Minus 1 is the 90. Another example is minus 1 colon minus 4 colon minus 1. That is, I want to retrieve the elements from the minus 1 to minus 4 with the decrement by 1. Okay, so that you will get the elements from the 90, 80, 70. Okay, minus 1 to minus 3 will get the elements. And print tuple of minus 4 minus 1. That is from the minus 4 index to the minus 1 index. Minus 4 index is for 60 and minus 3 for 70, minus 2 for 80. So minus 1 we didn't get because the last index is not considered. So minus 3 index, minus 2 index, minus 1, sorry, minus 4, minus 3 and minus 2 index values you'll get, that as 60, 70 and 80. Next, updating and deleting of a tuple element. Okay, this is not possible within the tuple because we cannot update or we cannot delete the elements in the tuple. Okay. So once if you are try to do like this, a of 2 equals to 6, then you'll get the message, error message. Okay, object does not support the any assignments. Next, deletion. If you try to do the deletion of a element in the tuple, then also you'll get the message, error message. And these are the functions of the tuple. Okay, length, len is to get the length of the tuple, to drive the number of elements in the tuple. And tuple 1 plus tuple 2, this is concatenation of the tuples. That is, we can combine the one elements of a tuple to the another elements, another tuple elements, and we can form as a one new tuple. Okay, tuple into n. That is, here we can repeat the elements of the tuple. Okay, the tuple elements are repeated for number of times the n value, and it returns a new tuple. Okay, x in the tuple to check whether the x value, the given x value is in the tuple or not. Okay, and compare the two tuples CMP of tuple 1 comma tuple 2. Okay, if they both are equal, then you'll get that true. If both are not equal, then you'll get the false. Max of tuple to return the maximum value of the tuple. Min of tuple, it gives the minimum value in the tuple. Tuple of list, convert the list into the tuple. So if you want to consider that list as a tuple, that is, you don't want to do the modifications in the list, then you can specify that list element, the list variable, and you can convert it into the tuple. Okay. Tup.count of x, that is, it finds the number of occurrences of x in the tuple, the x value occurrences in the tuple. Tup.index of x, that is, it finds the index of the value in the variable x. Okay, next function is there, that is sorted function. This you can use on the any type of a data structures. Sorted of within the brackets the data structure name. It just sorts the elements of the data structure and returns the sorted elements structure. Okay. Nested tuple. You can create a one tuple in the another tuple. Okay. So here we are creating a list of number of students data as a tuple. So each element in this tuple is a one another tuple. So students of, okay, first student data as the one tuple, that is Ravi CSE 92, and second student data as the another tuple Ramu ECE and 93, and third student data as the another tuple. So now we want to repeat through this tuple. For I in students, print I. Okay, that is, it takes a one I is the one by one tuple of the students tuple. So for the first iteration, it takes the data of a Ravi student into the I variable, and that complete tuple you'll get as the output. And for the second iteration, it takes a second tuple of the student, that is a Ramu student data. Okay, that is printed as the output. And in the third iteration, it takes a Raja student data, and that you can get as the print. Okay. Okay, those are the tuples. Okay, tuples are immutable, and tuples are created for the standard data which we cannot use for any modifications. Okay, sets is the next type of a data structure in the Python. Okay, and it is basically used to perform the set operations of the maths, the mathematical set operations you can perform with the sets. Okay, the main difference of the sets and lists is it doesn't support any repetition of the values. So if you want to create any list or any list of elements without any duplicates, you can use the sets. Or you can convert a list as a set Okay, then it removes all the duplicate values from the list. Okay, so it is a mutable. We can do the any modifications with the sets.